Hello and welcome to Bible Study with Alice, and today we're on day 31, Proverb 31 of our daily proverb reading. We're reading from the ESV translation, but you're more than welcome to join us from a different translation. As you can see, we are on Proverbs 31. These videos are filmed in real time. Today's date is the 1st of May 25 and we're on a Thursday. Now, I know what you're going to say. How is this 31 if it's just 30 days in April? And yeah, I don't really go by day numbers in order as like that. It's just I'm going by the day number represents the chapter number, and because of that, it'd be really confusing if I was doing playlists and it'd be so many day number later. So that's why we're doing it this way. And also, as there wasn't 31 days in April, it just made sense to do the last proverb on the start of the month. It's fine, I'm not actually worried. It doesn't make any ounce of difference for me. It's just done that way. You can find the previous 30 proverbs in the playlist below, and there is a disclaimer as usual, and it's always a disclaimer in every video, and that is, one, these videos are unedited, and also it's more than likely will happen that I've stumbled my wording. Let's get started. The words of King Lemuel. The words of King Lemuel, an oracle that his mother taught him. What are you doing, my son? What are you doing, son of my wound? What are you doing, son of my vows? Do not give your strength to women, your way to those who destroy kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for the kings to drink wine, or the ruler to take strong drinks, lest they drink and forget what has been decreed, and perverted the rights of all afflicted. Give strong drink to one who is perishing, and wine to those in bitter distress. Let them drink and forget their poverty, and remember their misery no more. Open your mouth for the mute, for the right of all who are destitute. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and defend the rights of the poor and needy. The woman who fears the Lord. 10. An excellent wife who can find. She is far more precious than jewels. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. 12. She does him good and not harm. All the days of her life she seeks wool and flax, and works with willing hands. She is like a ship of the merchant. She brings her food from afar. She rises while it is yet night, and provides food for her household, and portions for her maidens. She considers a field and buys it. With the fruit of her hands she plants a vineyard. She dresses herself with strength and makes her arms strong. She perceives that her merchandise is profitable. Her lamp does not go out at night. She puts her hand to the distaff, and her hands hold the spindle. She opens her hands to the poor and reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household are clothed in scarlet. She makes bed coverings for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. 24. She makes linen garments and sells them. She delivers sashes to the merchant. Strength and diligently are her clothing, and she laughs at a time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and teaching of kindness is on her tongue. She looks well to the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and calls her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women have done excellently, but you can't say the word. 29. Many women have done excellently, and you surpass, I can't say that word, with them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty in vain, but the woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her work praise her in the gates. So that is Proverbs 31 complete. I do apologise, there was a lot of stumbling. It always happens in my videos. It just is. So that is the end of the book of Proverbs, which is kind of sad, but I quite liked Proverbs. So, Proverbs 31 is written by King Lemuel. Now, with King Lemuel, we don't know when he was king. We don't actually have a time frame. There is no indication of when he was born or anything like that. Now, some people, when I say people, some historians and scholars think that King Lemuel was actually King Solomon. Now, we don't actually have evidence to back up that claim, but that's what some of the historians and some of the scholars do think, that King Lemuel was actually in fact King Solomon. But as I said, we don't have the evidence to claim that, to back that claim up at all. I mean, the last two Proverbs, 30 and 31, weren't written by King Solomon. I mean, it kind of a bit of a giveaway. I didn't mention it in yesterday's video, but I got the top of 31. The words of King Lemuel, the words of King Lemuel and an oracle that his mother taught him. Now I'm going to quickly go over to 30. I completely forgot about this. And I didn't thought about it just now. The words of Agur, son of Jekyll, the oracle. So that's where they kind of, that's where it's like indicated that it's not King Solomon who had wrote the Proverbs. But then, as I said, it could have been King Lemuel, could have been a pen name. Who knows? Who actually knows? We don't actually know this one. So now there's a lot of challenges going around YouTube and social media about the Proverbs 31 woman, and it's like you read the Proverbs in 31 day and then you try to become like the Proverbs 31 woman. And basically what this woman actually is, she's just such a capable, virtuous woman, and it's often referred to as a woman of value or excellent wife. She's basically just that. She's an excellent wife, she's an excellent mother, she's a hard-working individual. Her household is taken care of, and I mean that's even like her maidens, like her servants, everybody's taken care of. And she's just so diligently to the Lord, to her, to the gospel, to the teachings of the Bible. She's very much into that. She very much wants to be the perfect wife and housewife. She wants to be the perfect wife, mother, perfect wife, mother and housewife, and also be a diligent servant to the Lord as well. She basically wants to be that person. She wants to be that capable person to the Lord, and she wants to give her husband everything that he needs, provide him with everything he needs. Obviously the husband will go out his way to provide for his family, his wife and his children, and obviously the people of the household. That's his obviously duty, but she wants to do that in return, to give them also what they need. Be a good mother to their children, go out and do things for the children, make sure that they've got everything that they need, and obviously look after the maidens, the servants, to make sure that they are okay. Because at the end of the day, I mean, okay, we don't have servants in this day and age unless you're of an aristocratic, that one, I can't say that word, of royalty. But generally speaking, unless you've got the money to have a servant, generally speaking, we don't have servants anymore, because we can just do things for ourselves. I mean, people do actually employ a cleaner, do employ a gardener to do the tasks that they're not capable of doing. Now, obviously, there are a lot of people who do it because they just feel like, well, it's nice to come home to a nice clean home, nice perfect garden. I mean, I don't have a garden as such. I just cut my garden. I go out in my garden and cut the grass or do plants. I do things myself in my own garden. I mean, I don't need a cleaner, to be fair. I mean, I live in a flat. I don't need a cleaner. I can do it myself, but it's fine. But there are those people that probably have health conditions that could do with needing a cleaner, a gardener. They might have a big family that they run, they might have children and they can't keep on top of the cleaning because obviously they try to look after their children, which is perfectly fine. Nobody's saying you can't have a cleaner then. But generally speaking, in the general context of it, we don't actually have servants anymore. But there are times when, the service of a house, of a cleaner, are available. There are plenty of cleaning companies out there who, do go in and clean people's houses because of various different reasons, which is fine. But, I mean, you'd only ever come across a servant or a maiden, so to say, if you are of a status that would require it. I mean, an everyday person like myself is not going to employ a servant. I'm not going to lie, I can do things myself. I'm fully capable of doing things for myself. I'm not going to employ a servant. But obviously back when these proverbs were written, there were people who did have these servants, maidens and stuff, and they did need that help and support to help run the house. And it was just something that they did, and it was something that it was perfectly normal for them back in that time frame of their life. And and the thing is, to be an excellent wife, mother, housewife, whatever, you can, you don't need to have a servant to be an excellent wife. I mean, sometimes having that service there from somebody. I mean, people do employ nannies, like the living nannies, and they're there to help with the children and the childcare while the parents are out working. Their parents might work abroad, for example, and can't obviously take their children with them on holiday. I'm going to say holiday because it's not a holiday, but it's a holiday for the children, but they can't take them abroad with them while they're travelling for work. So there are so many different variations for why a nanny would be needed, and it's not a bad thing to have a nanny. But generally speaking, the everyday person like myself, we wouldn't employ a nanny. I mean, I don't have children, but I wouldn't, when I do have children, or when I decide to have children, that is, I wouldn't have a nanny per se. I wouldn't have a living nanny. I would want to do that for myself because that's just the type of person that I am. I'm one of those that I like to do things myself. I don't like to rely on other people. That's just probably down to the type of person I am. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. So if you're one of those people that do have a nanny, that's fine. You do you, and that's perfectly fine, and there's nothing wrong with it. But to be a good wife, a good woman, be the Proverbs 31 woman, doesn't necessarily mean that you need to have a nanny and a servant. You can just be like me, for example, who does things myself, but doesn't make you a bad person. I'm not a bad person because I don't have a nanny. I don't have a nanny because I don't have children. But I don't have a doggy sitter for my dog. My dog comes with me everywhere I go. Like, lucky enough, in the job I work in, my manager loves dogs and he can come into the office with me. We have that environment where, office environment where he's able to come in with me. I mean, that's, he's able to come with me. I mean, there might be a job where I can't take him to. And yes, then I would have to look at alternative arrangements for him because I couldn't leave him all day on his own. But that would mean I would just have to find an alternative solution, which then would mean I'd probably have to get myself a nanny for him, or a doggy daycare nanny, a doggy nanny, whatever you want to, doggy daycare for him. That's then obviously that's when that would have to come into play. And yeah, there'd probably going to be a time when he can't come to work with me, and I'd have to have a nanny, a doggy daycare nanny person, somebody to look after my dog, basically. That would then obviously come in, but that doesn't mean I'm not a diligent, capable, virtuous woman who's capable and an excellent person. My family probably thinks I'm absolutely fantastic. I don't know what they think, to be fair, because to be fair, I don't see myself as a big-headed, overconfident person. We've established that in previous videos, and we established that by me not showing my face on camera. so my family probably do think that, but I like to think I do follow the Proverbs 31 woman's way of doing things. I do like to think that I'm diligent with the Lord. I do read the scriptures. I do attend church when I'm able to. If not, I watch it online. It's fine. But I do like to watch a Sunday service online. It might not even be part of my church. I do like watching all types of faith and all types of church things on YouTube. And I do like watching YouTube videos about religion and churches and Bibles and whatever. I do like watching all that stuff. But I like to think I'm a capable, virtuous woman. I do think I am that. And I think that you probably are that if you are a woman that's watching this. Or you have that trait of, or even if you're a man, you might have that trait of the Proverbs 31 woman. You might have that trait, and that is, that I hope you have. I like to think that everybody who's watching this video has those traits of the Proverbs 31 woman, and I really think it's absolutely, a fantastic thing. So I'm going to write in the day and the date. It's going to be a bit weird because I'm going to write 31 and then I'm going to write the 1st of May. But bear with me. Day 31, and it's the 1st of May 25. So now, what I'm going to do, I did this in the Daily Psalms, so we're going to go flick through now. Through all the pages. Have a bit of a flick through. I have to come out slightly. That's probably better. Just have a flick through of everything that we've done in Proverbs. You might be wondering why I have got a different colour pen halfway through. I lost my pen. I did end up having to go and re-buy a new pink pen, and I just haven't used it yet. But I have got a new pink pen. So yeah. So that is the Book of Proverbs complete. Tomorrow we are going to be going over to, make sure I pick up, oh, there is 2 women in the book, that's good. I was just going to say, which woman we're going to go to. Are we going to go to Esther or Ruth? I think we're going to go to Ruth, because I have to admit, I did kind of want to go to Ruth first, and then we can go to Esther afterwards. That makes sense. So we're going to go to Book of Ruth tomorrow, and in the Book of Ruth, it's only a short book. There's literally just 4 chapters, so it's going to be a very short playlist of 4 videos, but we will be going into Book of Ruth tomorrow. So yes, so we go back over to Proverbs, and the Proverbs, yep, go back there. So yeah, so tomorrow we'll be starting the Book of Ruth. It'd be very interesting to do that. I thought, the reason why I'll quickly mention it, why I thought we'd go over into Book of Ruth, and then after Book of Ruth we're going to Esther. Esther is just here. Esther isn't that short. There's 10 yeah, looking pages up. There's 10 chapters in Esther. So the reason why I thought I'd do Ruth and then do Esther is a bit of like, I won't say a follow-on, but because obviously here we talked about the Proverbs 31 woman, I thought it'd be nice to then look at the women of the Bible. So we go to the 2 books that are focused on women, which is Ruth and Esther. I thought that'd be quite nice. I mean, that's the reason why I've decided to do that, is because obviously we just finished Proverbs on the Proverbs 31 woman, and I thought it'd be quite nice to go to Ruth and then to Esther to then look at their stories in the Bible. So thank you for watching. Please like my content, please subscribe to my channel, and please turn on the notification bell so you get notified of content like this. Thank you and goodbye.